Perfect. Oh.
What was that reverberating?
It's from the computer. Because the audio's on, so it's echoing through the mic.
Let's make sure this is.
All right, here we go. I think we're ready.
But then we got 9 minutes yet. But you can start talking. Welcome everybody, and I'll go through the whole.
Here we go.
Introduce yourself.
Welcome everybody to the first game of the season in the FCC division. My name is Isaiah Taylor, and I will be your commentator / host for the day. We have a matchup between Florida Atlantic University and the University of South Florida. We are here down in Boca Raton.
Good. How about yourself?
Good. You wouldn't happen to know where the restroom is.
I guess it's in the building, yeah.
Perfect.
Or you got 1,000 trees.
Yeah, they probably frown on that. School zone.
Yeah.
Mikey! Good luck today, brother! Right on! Good luck today, brother! What do you got? Blue. Nate! Nate over there? Daniel. No, is Nate not playing?
All right, you ready?
Daniel
Nice, Guido! Let's go, Guido!
It's gonna be
We're not going to start for another 15 minutes.
So, we're entering the latter stages of warm-ups. Both teams are going their team warm-ups. We've gone through Indian position warm-ups. So we are looking at about 10 to 15 minutes before kickoff. Stay tuned. It's going to be a good game. It's going to be a nice, fun afternoon with the team.
There's 0 people. Let's go. Oh, it says 3 watching.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to your first game of the FCC division. We have Florida Atlantic University playing the University of South Florida down in Boca Raton. We're looking at about 5 to 10 minutes to kick off. Both teams are now entering their later stages of warm-ups. We're looking at team warm-ups, and we're going to have a good game. Nice, fun game tonight. right, everyone. We are looking at the last few minutes before kickoff. It looks to be that the University of South Florida has finished their warm-ups and they are ready to get it going. Florida Atlantic is touching up the little details, making sure everything is going to run smoothly, and then we will be kicking it off. Looks like from the coin toss, Florida Atlantic will be kicking the ball off to the University of South Florida, and the ball will be being kicked to your left side of the screen. So, we'll see how it goes. All right, everybody. Looks like we're getting ready to get started here. Both teams are now in their binds, in their huddle, and we are getting ready to kick it off. FAU looks like they're ready to bring the energy, and the Bulls look like they are quiet in the face of adversity. As I said before, FAU will be kicking off to USF to start the half, and then coming out of halftime, the tables will turn and USF will kick to FAU. We're lined up.
Strategy. Penalties.
All right, so here we go. The lineups are set. So looks like they are going to be kicking into the wind here. So the kick's probably going to go a little short. And it's 10, so he has to make the catch. And here we go. We are into the game. Our 9 for USF is going to play the ball out. And it's dropped backwards, so it's able to be played on by USF. The ruck has been cleaned, and now we are looking at a situation of They're going to play a clean ball to the forwards, out right. Nice clear. And it looks like the ruck is falling apart, but they're back set up. And let's see what they're going to do. And we have a pick and go by Mike Toro. And he goes down. Oh, and we have a box kick straight up. Let's see if it stays in. And it goes out. So, what y'all just witnessed was a box kick. It is a tactical strategy to give yourself better field placement and force the other team to attempt to catch the ball or have one of your players catch the ball. But since it went out of bounds, it is a turnover from the spot of the kick. It is going to be FAU lineout, and we will play on from there. And we're here for the lineout. FAU is throwing in. And USF's 8-man gets a hand on it, but FAU maintains the ball. And it looks like we have a call from the sir. It's going to be a advantage for a knock-on by USF. So FAU is going to have a little playing room here. And they play it out wide, get it to the backs. And because of that advantage play and the loss of yardage for the FAU Owls, they're going to take it back to the spot of the foul, and it will be FAU's ball. All right, here we go. We're looking at a big scrum here. It's crazy to think about how many men are in that scrum. Typically, each pack weighs about a little over 1,500 pounds. So that's a whole lot of muscle going in there. So you want to drive the other team off the ball, and FAU does that perfectly, and they play the ball out to the backs. Nice play there. Oh, and they skip it out, and it looks to be a knock-on by FAU. It's going to be USF's ball at the spot of the turnover. They now have the option to either scrum or kick to touch, and I believe they are going to kick to... No, they're going to go for a big scrum here. They want to test their forwards, get their forwards wide awake and moving for the game. Honestly, if they trust their back line, this could be a big opportunity for USF. All right, and we have heard the crouch bind set from the sir. And the ball's being played back. Nice scrum by USF. Ball's out. It is going. And we're looking at a attempted 50-22. And the ball's going to keep going. And the ball is out of bounds. Caught by FAU. Going out of bounds. It is going to be given to USF at the spot where he went out of bounds. What a kick by Joey Thornton. There, USF's 10. All right, we have a USF line out. The hooker, Gerardo, throws it in, and we're looking at a maul. This is USF's tactical strategy to get into the try line whenever it is a close play. Looks like it is a penalty on FAU. Collapsing the maul is probably going to be the call. You cannot take the maul apart and attempt to play it there, so therefore it's going to be a penalty and a tap and go by USF here. USF's knocking on the door of the try line. Let's see if FAU's got what it takes to hold them out. So with a tap and go at a goal line situation like this, FAU is allowed to be on the goal line and approach and make contact. And it looks like they give the ball to Bilal Omar, and Omar's in. Big guy getting in for the score. Shout out USF for giving their forwards a chance, and honestly, good stand-up by FAU at the try line. Just It's a whole lot of do to stop. So with that score, we are going to go back and reset for a kickoff. We have Joey Thornton taking a kick here. And FAU looking to re-strategize here. They are going to be kicking off to USF again. And we are going to see how it plays out this time. All right, and FAU's 10, Joseph is going to be kicking here. And it's a drop kick, and it's going to go perfect right in the gap. And USF fields the ball, but big tackle by FAU here. They're going to play it out, and the ball goes out left. And it's still in the forwards. It's in a nice pod, but it's out to the backs, and there's an offload, and we have Chris taking it down the line, and he goes for an offload, but he's taken into touch by FAU. Fantastic defense there to stop a try. With the USF winger being taken into touch, it is going to be a FAU lineout. FAU has a potential chance to win this lineout and either play out to the backs or go for a 50-22 as we saw USF attempt a moment ago. A 50-22 is a very difficult task. Jonathan Adcock getting up there and taking the ball out of there. FAU has now gotten the line out and taking a big run. They're playing the ball out wide. Here we go. Let's see what happens. And he gets it straight to the wing. And Andrew Schultz makes a tackle and takes him into touch. What a tackle. Sometimes you get the ball and you forget where you are on the field and you get taken too close to the out-of-bounds line. But there was a penalty on the play, so FAU will maintain possession. I am not sure what that call was, but whatever it was against USF, so USF will drop back 10, and FAU will opt to take a kick into touch, I believe. And here we go. Here's the kick into touch. And it is a perfect kick into touch. FAU will take the line out at the spot where it went into the touch line. All right. Looks like FAU took another kick into touch. I'm not sure exactly what happened there, but now we're going to get to see FAU's line out again. And as you saw before, with FAU's line out, Jonathan Adcock, standing at his 6'3" stature, really long wingspan, has a fantastic ability to get up in the air and take the ball straight down and get it out to his team and play quickly. So let's see if it's going to happen again. And oh my gosh, Barrett Joy challenges and gets the ball for his USF Bulls. We are looking at Joey taking the ball, and he offloads to Danny. Danny's looking to offload to Tristan, and Tristan is tackled. What a mean tackle. That is great technique on the tackle. Ball's played out to the forwards of USF. Another great tackle made, but the ruck is secure. The 9 plays it out. Oh, great approach by FAU to make the tackle, but USF still making meters. And they play it out back. Oh, and it looks like there's going to be a offside call. And Barrett takes the pick and go. They're going to ruck over. Clean ruck. Oh, no. Penalty on USF. Looks like he called too many moves on the ground. You just can't seem to make those mistakes in the game. It's a tough call, but sometimes you roll one too many times and the third doesn't like it, and it's up to his judgment. FAU takes the kick into touch, and we are going to watch another line out. Barrett Joy and Jonathan Adcock, the two jumpers that you see primarily here for the two teams, are both all-stars, two-time all-stars for the state of Florida. Fantastic at their position. And as you see, Jonathan Adcock with the big wingspan gets up there and takes the ball straight out of the air. FAU is playing the ball. USF makes the tackle, and they're clearing. And looks like Omar has his hands in the ruck. So that's going to be a penalty for not releasing. And it is going to be FAU's penalty, and they will put the ball wherever they want to. They can tap and go. They can kick into touch. It is up to them. And it looks like they take the option to kick into touch. The ball's flying right at me. Okay, we're okay. We're okay. Don't worry. The ball has been kicked into touch. Fantastic kick into touch. Almost took our heads off here in the commentating booth, but that's okay. It's going to be FAU line out directly in front of the camera, so we're going to get the best look of the day at a line out here. Jonathan Adcock for FAU is that front jumper. Barrett Joy is the front jumper for USF, and it looks like they are going to go front pod again for USF. Let's see what FAU does here. And FAU jumps front pod, and Barrett Joy takes it right off the top. What a steal by Barrett Joy. And Barrett plays it out to the forwards, and we take a big hit on both ends. And the ball's played out, and Mike is taking it into contact, and here we go. USF is off to the running with the Bulls. Here we go. And he's taken into touch. We've seen a lot of players get taken into touch today. We're playing on a very interesting field. There's a couple different lines, as you can see. So it sometimes gets a little confusing. Maybe that's why everybody's getting taken into touch. But that is, I believe, USF's third time getting taken into touch, and FAU has been taken into touch once. So sometimes you can't blame the players. Sometimes you gotta blame it on other things. And USF wins another line out. Quite impressive today. And Joey takes it up. The 9 takes it up, and he fakes, he dummies, and he offloads, plays it out, and the backs are out running, and a beautiful tackle is made by FAU. And there's a poach by FAU. What a play. Looks like we are in a zone where they're going to take a couple hits and exit the ball with a kick. And great run by FAU here, but fantastic stuff by the backs on the USF side. And looks like FAU's going to opt to play it out here. They don't look like they want to kick the ball out. They want to play it out and let their players run. We are seeing great contact on both sides, and there's a turnover of FAU. USF now has the ball, and we're going to see them take it back, and now the backs have the ball. What a beautiful kick by Danny Feliciano. Ball drops right in on this, right before the sideline, which is going to give prime position for, I believe, a USF lineout. Let's see. I am mistaken on that. It is going to be a FAU lineout. I should have known better, but beautiful kick still by Danny, pinning FAU nearly meters away from their try line. So any mistake here is going to be very beneficial for the University of South Florida. But I believe FAU is going to play a clean line out here, and they are going to get the ball out and kick it and let it play from there. Just get it away from their goal line and keep playing. Looks like the sir is asking for a better channel for both teams. Got to leave a little space for people. And it's not clean, so USF is going to get possession nearly right on the goal line. Let's see what USF opts for. And USF opts to take a couple crash pods, and they are going to play it safe here. This is their favorite way to play. And we have seen another USF score. And looks like USF's 10. Joseph Thornton's going to line up for the kick. And it is beautifully put through, right through the middle. What a beautiful kick. And he is 2 for 2 on the day. Quite impressive, especially in the wind that we are experiencing. We are looking to see if USF will continue to capitalize or if FAU is going to come out and stun USF on this kickoff. And FAU is getting ready to kick. It looks like they are going to kick to FAU's right, USF's left, and it is a big, deep kick. Looks like they are going to take a little play at it. They're going to run with it a little bit, and oh no, got to be careful there. And he's got support here. That's a great tackle by FAU. We're standing here, and they're going to play the ball out wide, and it goes to Schultz, and Schultz takes a step in, and that's a great decision by the USF winger. And it's right back to the forwards. And let's see. It looks like USF is setting up for a box kick, and it is a beautiful box kick. It is very playable. Oh my goodness, that's a perfect box kick. You can't ask for much more, and that's okay. They didn't get possession, but they sure changed the field, and they put FAU back on their heels. That's what you want to do with the box kick, but FAU looks ready. FAU gained possession and looks like they came out ready to play the ball. Oh, FAU takes a big run there, gains a couple meters, and that's all you really need. Big clear out by, looks like Jonathan Adcock. And he's making it, oh my gosh, he's pumping those legs and he's gaining meters. And here we go. Not a clean ball played out. It is going to be a knock-on by FAU, and USF is going to take possession at the spot of the knock-on. Looks like they are opting for a big scrum here. All right, big scrum here. The two prime position players for FAU and USF, the two 8-mans at the back. Got to watch out for those guys. They love to take it out of the scrum and go and play with the backs a little bit. The sir calls for a reset of the scrum. Looks like they set too early, which basically means they engage with the other team a little too early, and that's okay. We like to keep things safe for both teams, and that is going to be a big push. And as I said, look at the 8-man take it right out of the scrum, and they play it out. And we are now watching USF's backs go into crazy play here. Danny Feliciano takes it into contact, offloads to Barrett Joy. Clean ruck, clean clear, and it looks like Tommy Simon's going to get into the try zone. What a beautiful play by USF coming off the scrum. Looks like USF's gaining a little bit of momentum. FAU is going to look to reset as USF goes for their kick and come back with a different approach. And USF's 10, Joseph Thornton's going to move up to 3 for 3 on the day. What a beautiful start. Looks like USF is expecting FAU to go ahead and kick left. I'm guessing they are seeing a number overload to the right side of that kickoff lineup, which means they want to go at USF's left side of the field. They might be playing into the wind a little bit and helping that bring the ball back a little bit. And that's exactly what has happened. It is going to be a knock-on by USF, and that's going to give FAU prime position to turn and put points on the board off of a turnover here. Looks like FAU is going to kick to touch and play their line out and trust their star players in the forwards to save them and go get a line out and allow the backs to get into play and hopefully get into the try zone. All right, here we go. Looks like the channel is not where the sir wants it, but he's allowing him to play. Oh, and that is going to be a, looks like that, I can't tell from here, but it's going to be USF ball for the line out. Looks like they tried to go to that front man, and it just didn't work, so that's okay. And Michael takes a big run and a huge stiff arm, and he's going, and he's rumbling, he's taking meters, and that's a gnarly hit he gets laid with there at the end. But he takes it into contact, a great offload by Joseph, and Danny Feliciano puts the ball out front, and he's gonna try and tap it down here. And a beautiful save by FAU to stop the points being put on the board. But they are going to look to have to do a drop 22, which is basically a kickoff kick, which is going to be a drop kick, but it's going to come out of their try zone. Actually, it looks like FAU went out of the back of the try zone with the ball before placing it down, so it is going to be the USF Bulls scrum on the 5-meter line. You may ask why it's the 5-meter line. That is because that is the closest point you can take a penalty to the opposing team's try zone. So USF's going to take it on the 5, and what we're probably going to see is the 8-man pull it and get into play with it. And as I said, the 8-man pulls it, and he's going, he's rumbling. He takes his meters, and it looks like the sir is going to say, I am not sure what the call is just yet. Let me see based off of who he gives the ball to. Looks like he gives the ball to FAU, and I'm going to guess he called collapsing the scrum. Collapsing the scrum is a penalty because it is a dangerous maneuver for a lot of players in that scrum. You can hurt your neck, head, lots of things can go wrong. So you have to maintain the body position all the way through the end of the scrum, and it doesn't look like that was happening. Ball's out. And USF looks to have possession. And from there, they set up in goal line. And they are going to play the ball out. And let's see what happens. And the sir awards the USF Bulls the try. So we are looking at a 4-score first half for the USF Bulls. That is a fantastic way to start their season and not the way FAU wants to start theirs. And we're looking on from the sideline as Joseph Thornton gets ready to take his 4th kick of the day at the post. And once again, it's right down the middle. Joseph Thornton is 4 for 4 today. A fantastic showing in this first half from the 10. We'd also like to give a little bit of credit to the FAU 10 as well. His kickoffs have been beautiful and honestly have put FAU in great position to capitalize and go for points. They have just not been able to turn penalties into points and field position into points just yet. And once again, beautiful kickoff just past the 10-meter line, which is right where you want to put it on a kickoff. USF secures the ball, and they're, oh no, it looks like they played the 9 early. That is going to be a very dangerous penalty. we will see. Looks like the sir is not calling for time off. He is just going to give a base penalty, and the USF Bulls are going to kick into touch, and the ball doesn't get into touch, so FAU is going to play the ball out, and we have no chase from the left side, and the ball is given to FAU's left side, and USF shuts it down. They come up swiftly in the place where I did not think they were prepared. And, oh, dangerous tackle there. Looks like the sir is going to award FAU a penalty for a high tackle on USF. USF is very notorious for said high tackles, so they need to be careful here. The sir might just start handing out cards very quickly. Let's see if the sir is going to give a warning or anything, or if he's just going to allow play to continue on. Looks like the sir is going to allow play to continue on. It looks like the first high tackle of the game, which is honestly very impressive at this level. Playing the first 20 minutes without a high tackle from either team is phenomenal. And it looks like the sir is going to award both teams for that and allowed to just play on. FAU kicks the ball into touch based off the penalty, and they are going to take a line out from where the ball exited into touch. And FAU jumps for the line out, and they hit the middle pod. And oh no, looks like FAU gets this line out, but knocks it on in the play, and USF takes advantage of that. And it looks like that looks to be Marco forward for USF, making a big run and then turning it over as he gets near the try line. We have a phenomenon here in the rugby world, especially in the college level. We call it try-line fever. And it's anytime you get within that 22 meters leading up to the try line, bad things happen and you tend to knock it on. And you get very frustrated with yourself, sometimes with your teammates. But let me tell you, both of these teams seem to be recouping very well after turnovers and playing the ball out fantastically. And a big scrum from USF drives them back several meters, and a beautiful tackle by USF, and a poach from USF that's going to turn into a very great field position. They are inside the 5-meter line of the try zone, and there's a call by the sir, penalty on FAU right at the goal line. We are going to see, looks to be a tap and go for USF. And a tap and go for USF this close to the try line is never good for the other team. Like I said earlier, there is a big man on the field, and he loves to get the ball in that 5-meter line and just have her run it whoever he wants to. And he likes to say, who's going to stop me? So let's see what happens here. I believe if he runs straight up the middle, he will be stuffed, because there are a couple all-stars standing over on the other sideline for FAU. But we shall see what happens. And it looks like the sir is going to award FAU possession, because you are not allowed to tap and go straight off the ground. The ball has to be in your hands, hit your foot, and then hit your hands and go back to your hands before you can play it by yourself. Typically with a tap and go, you'll see them tap their foot while the ball's on the ground and play it out to somebody. That is completely legal. But it looks like that play was not. So FAU is going to get possession. Once again, I say that try-line fever kicks in very quickly, very quickly. So we are going to see FAU play a scrum here and hopefully get the ball and go for an exit. Sir calls for a reset of the scrum. He saw something not safe for one of the players in there, and he is going to allow everybody to reset and make the scrum a lot more sturdy, a lot more safe, and a lot better for both sides. right, they have set. The ball has been put in, and USF just drives right off the screen. And USF taps it down. That is going to be a try. Unfortunate mistake in the try zone for FAU. You can't give up a turnover like that. You can go down with the ball in the try zone, but you cannot just hand them a try like that. That is unfortunate. And that looks to be that same forward, Marco, who turned it over a little earlier. He manages to come back and play phenomenal defense and get in the try zone and score. We are now looking at the 10 for USF's 5th kick at the post. This one's lined up straight in front. Doesn't look too hard for him. He looks pretty confident, and we shall see what happens. And it's good. It looked a little close from here. I almost jinxed him. But he is now 5 for 5 on the day. And USF is having a phenomenal start to their season. And here we go. FAU's looking for another kickoff here. We are going to say they are going to go to USF's right. And Gavin looks to field the ball for USF, and he drops the ball. That is an unfortunate turnover. But honestly, let's see which team can capitalize off that mistake. Scrums have been a big focal point for both teams in past years, so let's see who can take advantage of this scrum and get in their plays. All right, the sir goes for the crouch bind set call, and the set has been engaged, and looks like USF is engaging a little too much early. And the sir is going to give the chance for both teams to take a reset. Looks like both teams were a little at fault. USF drove a little after the time being, and the sir is going to take time off for a player who needs to recover and possibly tie a shoe, but mostly recover. And we are going to get back to said scrum. Looks like USF is looking to just drive FAU right off of this scrum. I think if I was FAU, I would have my front guys hunker their feet down and lock them into the turf and just tap the ball out the backside. No need to try and drive USF off the ball. It looks like their pack is extremely large at the moment. So therefore, I would just lock my feet in place and just let the ball be played out the back and get it out to the back as quick as possible. Okay, we're looking at the crouch bind set, and FAU is cheering on their forwards. And we seem to have another collapsed scrum. That is collapsed scrum number 3. FAU's talking their guys through it a little bit, trying to fix the problem before the serve gives the ball away. A lot of times in the early seasons, you'll see serves be a whole lot more lenient with the teams that are playing, just because they'd like to see the pace of play stay where it is and encourage the players to keep playing through penalty calls and only stop the game whenever it is a major penalty. And the scrum is going, and great job by FAU. The ball is out, and they get it out to the backs, which is phenomenal for FAU, and they counter it, and they go back inside. And FAU takes a big run. He's marching his feet, he is driving, and there's a big ruck by FAU. They look to be in the position that they've wanted to be in for a little while now, and they are moving the ball phenomenally down the field. And big tackle by USF, but FAU sets their ruck quickly, and they are ready to play the ball out. And they get it out to the forwards and the backs, and a phenomenal move. And it looks like FAU is rumbling right around that try line area, and they take it outside. And there's a penalty for FAU. Looks like USF is not rolling away. You cannot have those penalties that close to the try line. FAU takes a tap and go, and they are going to run it straight at the guys, and that is a try for FAU. Beautifully done, beautifully executed out of the scrum. It is their first try of the day, and they are looking to battle back from the deficit that's been created. Like I said earlier, whenever you're looking at that big scrum, both teams are very well coached and very well executing out of scrums, and that has been a focal point for both teams in past years. The scrum is a perfect way to take as many players and put them in one small area of the field and allow the backs to get into their plays and let them do what they need to. And if you're looking here closely, FAU is getting ready to take their kick, and then they will receive a kickoff as time dwindles down in the first half. It's honestly been one of the better first halves with penalties, and honestly the time has felt very smooth. It felt a little long, but it's been a very smooth game. And he just barely sneaks it through. What a phenomenal play by FAU's, I believe that is FAU's 10 who just took that kick. And with that being said, oh wow. Maybe that is FAU's 13, number 3. Maybe they're 3. FAU's 3 sneaks the kick in. If you look on the close sideline here as we kick it off, we have a hot pursuit for USF. These guys are we have a 8-man, a flanker, and 3 backs. They are definitely getting ready to go to the right side, but Jonathan Adcock for FAU is back here, and he looks to want the ball, and oh my goodness, he was in position for it, and he just sees the hit coming, and he just decides that he does not want to lose a rib in that very moment, so he drops the ball and takes light contact there, and that's okay sometimes. We are looking at a USF scrum due to the knock-on, and USF's 9, a very young freshman, impressive young man, as a freshman has come in and taken the USF Bulls by storm and is starting as a freshman, is an impressive player, but you see the 8-man take it, and he takes it out, he plays it out to the backs, and they play it quickly, and they just go down with it, and that's okay. They're looking to spread it, and they're going to go back right, and they go right to the big guy who I was just talking about on the try line. He is well-versed in taking the ball into contact, and they go back to the forwards, and they take a big hit there. That is a tough run by FAU and a tough hit to take by USF. Oh, what a tackle by Jonathan Adcock. He is playing phenomenally right now, as are other players from FAU. I do not have a roster for FAU, so I can't tell you exactly who I am seeing play phenomenally, but FAU is holding their own very well, but Danny Feliciano takes the ball, takes a big run for the try line, and he is met, and it looks like they are making a phenomenal goal line stand by FAU. What is USF looking to do here? They are maintaining possession, which is the most important part of this game. And it looks like USF just keeps running into double tackles, but they are taking the edges of the double tackles, which is okay because they are still getting meters. And what a phenomenal pass by the 10, Joseph Thornton. He is having a game of all games at the moment. He offloads to Danny Feliciano, and Danny gets in for, I believe, his 2nd try of the day. FAU was having a phenomenal goal line stand there. They were tough at the point of contact, and honestly, sometimes you just run out of energy when you're down there in the deeps of your field. And that is going to be halftime, and it looks like USF is going to take a lead into halftime with the score of 42-7. thank y'all for staying with us for this first half of rugby down here in Boca Raton, Florida. Beautiful Boca Raton. We are having a phenomenal day. It is a little windy out here. It's approximately 80 degrees, so I know the players aren't super excited, but they've played in a lot worse weather, so they cannot complain. We are going to take a break here. Both teams are going to regroup and look to reset and come out at halftime and put on a better performance than they put on in the first half. And hello everybody, we are back and we are looking to get the game started here pretty quickly. First 40 minutes of the game went by very smoothly, impressively for both teams, but it seemed to be a really long 40 minutes. Could be because I'm used to being out there and you seem tired throughout the whole 40 minutes and then it just goes by a little quicker, but we are looking to get the second 40 minutes started here. The score is currently USF 42, FAU 7. USF is going to be kicking the ball off, and it looks like they want to go right with the ball, and that is going to be two FAU's left. Jonathan Adcock standing back there in the back, and then we have the sir says the ball went 10, so USF is maintained possession. What a beautiful kickoff. And they play the ball out very quickly. Good tip. And the big guy's rumbling around. Here we go. And it is a pretty good run there by USF. They are looking to play the ball out to the backs, and they are going to take a tip inside. And that's going to be a taken into touch penalty. Oh, wow. Looks like before the offload, he took a step out in the touch, and that's, a little minute error. Pretty easy to clean up when you go back and look at film. It's impressive how much time these guys spend around the game outside of just games. Multiple practices a week, film multiple times a week. And a wonderful line out by FAU. Jonathan Adcock is going to take it off the top. And it is a beautiful kick out by FAU's 9. And Chris Anderson, the wing for USF, takes a beautiful return. And he is going to give the ball offload to Tommy Simon. And Tommy Simon goes to make an offload, and he turns it over after a fantastic run. And there's multiple knock-ons, but USF is going to come away with the ball. And USF is marching down the field. As we can see, they are on the far sideline. And, oh, wow, what a incredible hit and takeaway by FAU. But it looks like they run it right back into all the mess instead of playing it out to the side, which is a very dangerous strategy. But it seems to have worked out for them, and they are going to now play the ball. And that is a great poach by USF. A poach is whenever a player goes to the ground and their teammate is supposed to come over and ruck them and protect the ball. But unfortunately, the teammate was a little slow and the opposing team got their hands on the ball. And once you get your hands on the ball and you don't let go, it's going to be a turnover and you will gain possession. So, fantastic poach by the defense here of USF. And that was a high quality line out there. We are looking at USF getting the ball out wide, and Tommy Simon drops the ball for another knock on it. He's having a rough start to the first half, but once he gets warmed up, he is going to be just okay. Looks like we are going to another scrum. It is going to be FAU's possession during the scrum, so FAU is going to put it in and roll it out the backside and play it out to their backs. And USF is going to have to defend. Looks like they are going to have to defend a 5-man approach with a 4-man line. And the reason that is because they are expecting FAU to attempt to kick the ball, and they want players in positions ready to receive the ball and kick and or play it back the other way. and FAU gets the ball out, but it is not a clean ball, and Gavin makes a beautiful tackle and stops the player dead in his tracks, and USF is now holding FAU up, but tackle has been made and the sir calls time off. Looks like we have an FAU player down. I cannot exactly see who it is, but he is holding his ankle, I believe, and we hope he is okay. Hope it is nothing serious. We hope it is something that he can either walk it off or get up and recover from very shortly. And he seems to be grimacing and limping a little bit. We're looking for the AT, but I don't see an AT in sight at the moment. I'm going to guess that he is going to play on, which is fantastic for him. Rugby players have a high pain tolerance and a large ego that tells us that we can play through any injury. So let's hope that does not affect him. And here we go, FAU scrum. But it looks like the scrum has collapsed on the right side for FAU. They're going to take a look at some things and work on it really quickly, and then they will come back and do it all over again. All right, and the scrum is now back up and ready to go. And there it goes again. I think the sir is going to officially give the penalty for collapsing the scrum. Or not, he's going to allow them to re-engage. It seems that FAU just can't get their feet under themselves and get the head placement right on the front row, which is honestly a very difficult thing to do. It is a very uncomfortable and unusual spot to be in. Your head on the opposition's shoulders, which can be uncomfortable, and USF gets a big drive out of there. But FAU gets it out cleanly, and he takes a little chip kick, and the wing, Chris Anderson, is going, and he's going to go down, but he is going to take it all the way for a try. Beautiful field, beautiful approach, and beautiful way to get in the try zone. That is another freshman on the team, if I am correct, and that is going to be his first try in the college rugby scene. All right, and it is an unfortunate start for the 10, Joseph Thornton, as he misses his first kick of the day. They are kicking into the wind, which is going to be very difficult, and it's going to prove beneficial for FAU on this kickoff. So let's see where they decide to put this ball. And it looks like it is going to pull forward for USF. He decides to go down, which is a fantastic decision, and they are going to play the ball to the forwards and let the forwards run. And William takes a big run there, and he is having a good little first couple runs in the first half, and FAU does an amazing job standing USF's biggest forward up at the line of contact, and he is slow to get up, but he seems okay. With big hits like that, sometimes you're just a little shaken up. You're not expecting the contact to come to you like that. And that is an amazing job by FAU to take the contact to them and put them on their back foot and take possession here. They've put themselves in a prime position to go and take this scrum, win the scrum, get it out to the backs, and get near the try line and let the forwards do the rest. And there's a turnover there by FAU as they were attempting to play the ball out cleanly. Looks like they were just a little too close to the point of contact, and now USF drops it and cannot capitalize on that possession. That is the hard part about rugby. There are many hard parts, but the hardest part is going to be depth. You never really know how deep you need to be. You don't want to be too deep because you're not going to be able to make any meters. And if you are too close, you are giving the opposition a chance to take the ball away. So it is a very, very important part of the game that you have to kind of gauge as you're going along. And USF did a beautiful job taking that ball away, but cannot maintain possession as they have turned the ball all over several times today. And big drive by USF scrum, and the ball's out. And the ball's out, and they are playing it. But here comes a big tackle by USF. And looks like both teams are getting a little chippy, but they're having a little fun with the chippiness. Sir calls hands out, so the USF player backs off and lets the ruck be set. And that is a fundamental tackle right there. That is what you want to see in every single player of yours. And a great run by FAU. They are slowly chipping away at the USF defense, which is the best way to go about it sometimes. Sometimes you can't take the big meters every time. You just have to chip away, chip away, chip away. But USF's defense is big, and they love to play hard. They clear the ruck, and they are taking it all the way down the field. This is where we like to maintaining possession. Let's see, the Sir calls a penalty. It looks like that is going to be a knock-on by USF. They cannot get away from this knock-on. A knock-on is, for those wondering, it is basically when you are past the ball or you are carrying the ball and you proceed to drop it or do not catch it and it goes off, hits you and goes forward. That is an automatic turnover for the other team, and they are allowed to pick it up and play it if it is available. If it is not available, then you are allowed to opt for a scrum or a tap and go. As we see, FAU is going to go for the scrum. Some would call that a bold decision, but I think it's a great one. They've been able to get the ball out. It hasn't been clean every time, but they've been able to get the ball out, and you want to allow your backs to get into play. Their backs have been playing amazing so far and being able to get the ball out and make some meters and then allow their forwards to get it. All right, and here we go with another scrum. We've seen a lot of scrums today, and there's been a lot of contact in those scrums. USF takes a big push there, but FAU is able to get the ball out cleanly until it is knocked on by one of the players. We are going to see USF take a couple subs in this situation. If you are inquiring how the substitutions work in rugby so far, you are allowed up to, I believe it is 8 subs total. And once a sub goes in, they are not allowed to come, or once the sub goes out, they're not allowed to come back into the game. So for the whole game, you are pretty much allowed 8 substitutions. So you have to strategically sub those players in and out. USF takes a big scrum push there, and they play it out to their backs, and they take huge contact at that point. And it looks like the sir is going to call double move. That's one of those calls, like I said earlier, it's all at the discretion of the ref. Sometimes you think that you aren't completely tackled, and that may not be true. And if it is true, then that's okay. That's okay. As we saw, FAU played that ball really quickly, and they kicked it straight into touch right over USF swinger's head, and he was not very excited about that, as most people wouldn't be. And once again, here's another prime position line out. We are getting a look at 2 of the best jumpers in the state of Florida right now. The channel's wide open, and we see a big jump, and the call's not straight. You can see that both of those jumpers are having a good little conversation about that ball, because they both wanted it so badly, and they've both jumped with each other for several years now, and they are loving the game. And here we go. Because of the not straight call, USF is going to gain possession. And looks like FAU is driving a little early there. We're going to have to talk some things out, as you see the sir is doing that exactly. With a scrum, the sir is going to say crouch, and all the players go down. He's going to say bind, and you're going to see the outside guys of each team's scrum engage with the other side. And then, so there's the crouch call, there's the bind call, and set, you're going to apply slight pressure, and now they are able to drive the other team off the ball, and USF plays it out the back, and not a good game. And we have some funny fans over here on the sideline. Looks like some parents are having a good time on the sideline. If you heard any of that commentary, there's nothing crazy going on at this game. They are just having a good time. And as one of the players have said, it is just his dad yelling at his mom. Nothing new. It is all good fun out here in Boca Raton, Florida. We're having a phenomenal time. All right, once again, huge line out here, and it was in a great position, but FAU somehow maintains possession, and he runs into a big wall, and the big wall just puts him down. Oh no, he does not look like he wants that ball right now, and that is correct. We are looking at an FAU team who is just getting stopped at the point of contact. What a fundamental hit right there. And FAU is getting driven out of bounds as we speak. Another big tackle.
and USF is just putting the pressure on FAU in this very moment. Some would say that FAU needs to look for a kick opportunity, but they turn it over, and one of the forwards for USF is looking, and there's going to be a double knock on there. We are going to take the ball back to the spot of the first knock on. When there's a double knock on in the play, which is basically where one team knocks it on, the other team picks it up to play it, and then they also knock it on, they are going to go back to the spot of the first penalty and allow the team that gained possession after the first penalty to take it again. Interesting concept. Some don't agree, some do agree. I think it's a great way to restart play and to allow both teams to get reset in that case. Here we are, USF gets the scrum. They played out the back, and FAU is putting the pummel on to USF. Looks like one of the FAU players who made the tackle got up and got back on his feet and drove that ruck clean off, and was allowed for his teammate to make a play and take the possession away. FAU is now in a good spot. They're going to play it out the back, and Joy makes the tackle there. Phenomenal player for USF. Excellent tackle from excellent tackle by Trout, but it looks like there was a penalty on the previous phase of the play, and they are now going to kick the ball into touch and play from there. And we're back for another line out, and that ball's just not straight at all. This wind, you are having to adjust and adapt as you're getting ready to throw the ball, and it is a difficult thing to do, especially in those situations. USF's looking for another scrum win. I do not believe that USF has lost an offensive scrum today. And the ball is out, and USF gets a penalty for it. Oh, and USF gets docked points for disengaging the scrum early. You just can't have those penalties happen. That is an unfortunate circumstance, and that can be on any player. Until the ball is officially played out, you cannot detach from the other team in a scrum, which is why that penalty was called. And big run by FAU. They drive them clean off, and there's another penalty. We're going to see a tap and go here, and FAU is looking to get themselves in prime position. Did USF get back all the way? I believe they did. So far, no calls from the SIR, so yes, they got all the way back on side, but FAU is still in a prime position to make things happen. Great tackle by USF, and the ball just keeps going backwards, and USF is looking to, and there it goes again, and there's a big tackle. There's a hammer has been dropped. We are watching some amazing rugby by some of these collegiate athletes at this point. Let's see if FAU can turn the tides and gain some momentum here, slow the ball down, which is a great idea. They get the ball out to the backs, and there's a guy open on the wing, and the 8-man for USF shuts it down. And there we go. The wing takes him out of bounds. Wing on wing action. We love to get to see it. It's some of the smaller guys, so we don't get to see them touch the ball as often. But when they do, it is a battle of speed and precision power. And it looks like the sir just gave us the call that there is 10 minutes left in this game. We are watching this game slowly conclude. And the ball's just not straight. The wind takes it, but FAU gets possession, so sir's not going to make the call. And FAU plays the ball out, and they give the ball. And the backs are getting in there for big contact early. And that's all you can ask for sometimes is big contact. Big contact at the point of the gain line is how you stop teams from making meters. And FAU starts driving their feet, and they have guys binding on, but it gets stood up, and now FAU is going to play the ball out. And they play it out wide, which is such an interesting tactic. Most people would have gone back in, and now they do decide to go back in. And now they are working back to the wide side of the field, and they're just slowly chipping away once again. Here we go. Let's see what FAU decides to do. And FAU decides to keep the ball. And that is going to be a knock on. USF's defense holds strong. They look gassed right now, but let me tell you, they are holding on for dear life. They do not want to give or concede another try. Oh no, and that penalty was actually on the USF Bulls, which is now giving FAU prime position. We have lots of players that are just kind of slowly moving. We are so late into the game that everybody has used everything they have in their tank. We are looking at the last minutes of this game. In the last minutes of a rugby game, it is more a battle of will and grit than it is going to be of strength. We are looking at IQ mistakes at this point by USF, and the sir is going to pull. Looks like the sir is going to card one of the USF defenders. USF is now going to go down a player. It is going to be 14 on 15. Let's see if FAU can capitalize in this very moment. So, as you just saw, a player was just sent off. Whenever a sir or a referee doesn't like exactly how a player goes about their conduct on the field, they then are subject to the sir/referee giving them a card, which then sends them off for a certain amount of time. A yellow is going to be a 10-minute penalty, 20-minute penalty, depending on the level. And a red card will be an indefinite sent off. FAU is opting in for the big option here. They are going to go and kick for points, which if they make this kick, they will then get the ball back on a kickoff. If they miss this kick and it goes out the back, they will get a drop 22 kick. So no matter what, they are in position where they are going to have potential to be successful with this ball. And FAU's kicker misses it. So it looks like we are going to go a drop 22, if I am correct. All right, with it being 14 v 15, here's the drop 22. And, oh no, USF's 9 goes down. Looks like he's got a cramp, and he is going to stay down. looks like USF gets a big goal off of a turnover there. They managed to take a couple offloads after contact and get it to their prime scoring players. If you hear that noise in the background, those are the private jets taking off from the airstrip right next to the illustrious fields of Boca Raton's FAU. And they let the rookie go in and take a couple kicks at the post. That is one big thing that you will see as the game goes on in later stages of the game. If the game is close, they will stick to what they know. If they are up big, lots of teams will give some of the younger guys a chance to get in, get some minutes, get some knowledge of the game, some real life experience, and even take some kicks at post, as you just saw. And the rookie, Austin, takes a kick at the post and makes his first kick at the FCC level. And FAU's going for a kickoff as USF just scored, and they are going to kick it to the USF Bulls right, and they make a play on the ball, and USF comes down with it. What a contest by FAU, though. FAU put the pressure on, and that was the most contested kickoff we've seen all day. And we see a big run by USF, big clear, and they set the ruck early, and they play it out, and Ethan Ramsey is going to go into contact. Nope, and the tackle was complete, so that is going to be a penalty and a turnover. And FAU's going away, and they are moving with the ball. Let's see what FAU can capitalize on with here. Oh, and looks like they got away with a sneaky call. There might have been an obstruction there, but Sir says play on. Looks like there was another penalty involved, and then there's the knock on. Ball always comes back around, full circle. Looks like we have another player down cramping. With that being said, it is one of the hottest days that we've had in this rugby year. So therefore, a lot of these players are not used to the heat just yet, and playing a full 80 minutes is very difficult on the body. And we are looking at an interesting sight here. One of the FAU players is playing without a shoe. He does not care. He wants to be out on this field, and he wants to finish the game with his brothers. And you can't do anything but respect him for that. USF with a big drive, and the kick into touch. And the game has concluded. The USF Bulls take down the FAU Owls, 54-7. The scoreboard does not tell the full story. FAU put up a valiant fight, and honestly, I believe that FAU has the potential to come back and bounce back next week and have a great season. Thank you for watching the game. Yeah. Thank you for watching the game with us. I'm your commentator, Isaiah Taylor, and it has been an honor as we see the teams huddle up and go for their big cheers.